Aloha, I'm Chris Berman, and coming up on ESPN, set to go with Week 2 of the NFL on ESPN. Hi, everyone, I'm Chris Berman. Week 1 certainly had its share of surprises. Will Week 2 continue in that vein, or will things start to even out a bit? We'll see. We've got an excellent early season matchup for you here. Redskins, Giants. Now!
Well, the fans definitely look pumped up and ready for today's game.
Did you guys know that the best play in ESPN NFL 2K5 is the play action fake? Yeah, shocking, isn't it? It is cited that the play action fake is one of the best plays in this game, the PA Power O. In general, just basically the play action fakes being mixed with combination of how you play your offense will help you win most games. So I ended up doing it in today's match as you guys continue to watch my Giants franchise series. This is year 1, week 2. Now the question is, can 2K Sports create a football game like Maximum Football if they wanted to? The answer is yes. 2K Sports could theoretically create a football game like Maximum Football, but it would require significant resources, time, and expertise in a different direction compared to their current sports offerings. Here are some factors to consider. 2K Sports' current focus is on basketball and wrestling. 2K Sports is best known for its NBA 2K series and WWE 2K series, which focuses on basketball and professional wrestling. Respectively, these franchises have been hugely successful and have established 2K as a dominant force in their sports gaming market. After EA attained the exclusive rights to the NFL license, 2K has avoided creating a full-fledged football simulation game, likely due to the licensing situation. As for Maximum Football, they're offering a flexible experience with edible teams, rosters, and game rules. It also features custom leagues and allows players to modify the game to an extent that traditionally NFL games like Madden are unable to. Even though Maximum Football isn't as polished or refined as Madden in terms of graphics and gameplay, it has carved out a space for players looking for a different take on a football game, including support for Canadian football rules which aren't typically featured in NFL-focused games. What 2K would need to do to create a football game like Maximum Football? Well, the development team. 2K would need to invest in a dedicated development team experience in football simulation and customization. While 2K has talent in other sports, American and Canadian football have different gameplay mechanics and rules set that would need a dedicated focus. If 2K were to focus on NFL, they would be limited by the same exclusive licensing agreement that EA Sports has with Madden. This would make it difficult for them to include real teams and players unless the licensing situation changes. However, they could take a similar route as what Maximum Football has done by offering a more customizable fictional league which isn't under the same exclusive contract. The game engine mechanics, 2K would need to develop a new engine or adapt to an existing one to handle football's complex mechanics, such as passing, tackling, blocking, and play calling. As for 2K, they have expertise in creating visual, impressive sports games, especially with 2K. Replicating the physics and dynamics of football, especially the collision detection strategy, is a different challenge. However, with resources from their other sports games, 2K could likely develop a football game that looks and feels authentic. So typically it's a market demand and viability fan base. Madden dominates the American football video game market, so 2K would have to determine if there is enough demand for another option. However, the increasing demand for more customization and indie-like experiences, like what Maximum Football is doing, could present an opportunity for 2K to offer something unique. Innovation opportunity, 2K has a history of introducing new features and innovative mechanics into its sports games, which could give them an edge if they decide to create a football game. Custom leagues, different rule sets, robust online features similar to the online My League and NBA 2K could attract players seeking a fresh experience. While 2K Sports is more closely associated with basketball and wrestling, they definitely have the resources, talent, and experience to develop a football game like Maximum Football, particularly if they focus on customization, alternative leagues, and an indie-like approach. The challenges would lie in licensing, gameplay mechanics, and the question of market demand for a new football title. However, if they did pursue it, they could create a football game with depth, customization, and a fresh take on the game. So the question is, why don't 2K Sports make a non-licensed football game like Maximum Football even though they can? Well, here's the reason why. Their focus in established franchises, which is NBA 2K and WWE 2K, these games are not only profitable but also have a strong fan base. Expanding into a new genre, especially one that hasn't been as dominant in recent years, could divert attention and resources from these mainstay franchises. Risk of a new venture with the football genre is a competitive genre where Madden dominates the market. A new, non-licensed football game could be seen as a risky move for 2K, as it would need to compete with a long-standing, well-established franchise like Madden, or other sports games like NFL Street, or an indie game, which is shockingly Mutant Football League. This makes it harder to guarantee success, especially when EA Sports currently holds an exclusive license with the NFL, which gives them the rights to use real NFL teams, players' likeness, and brands. This means that 2K cannot produce a game that directly features the NFL, its teams, or its players unless EA's exclusive deal is somehow changed. This leaves 2K with limited options for creating a football game based on the real-life league. No NFL license. If 2K were to create a non-licensed football game, it would either need to create a completely fictional league or focus on something like, what Maximum Football has been doing. Maximum Football took this approach, creating the fictional league and customizable rosters, but 2K may feel that such a game wouldn't generate enough interest or sales to justify the investment required to create it. Even though Maximum Football may have took the advantage of this approach, especially for the market demand and fan base, which, found a niche for the audience that is catered to another option of a football game and simulation base, but it hasn't become a mainstream hit yet. The market for non-licensed football games is relatively small compared to mainstream sports games, especially those with real-life teams and players. Given the success of Madden, it's likely that 2K doesn't see a large enough demand for a football game without the NFL license. Fans of football want the NFL or college football team experience. Players primarily want their favorite NFL teams to use or favorite college team to use with real players and realistic gameplay. Without that, the real world connection for 2K may feel that the game would struggle to appeal to a large audience. Now, developing costs and complexity, well, if 2K took this approach, developing a high quality sports game is a massive investment. And 2K Sports development teams are already stretched with their NBA 2K and WWE franchises, which requires continual updates, new features, and annual releases. Developing a football game with the depth and polish expected from a 2K game would take significant resources both in terms of money and time. With 2K's attention to be mostly heavily invested in basketball genre, particularly with the success of NBA 2K, the basketball market is also highly competitive, so 2K's efforts are likely focused on maintaining and expanding that dominance rather than branching into football, which currently has fewer competing developers. With EA being the dominant force in American football and having the licensing rights, 2K just won't take that approach without having licensing. Theoretically, they can create a football game, but the company has also been expanding into other sports such as golf, wrestling, tennis, and much more. But 2K can technically go ahead and create a non-licensed football game that's similar to Maximum Football, but the company simply doesn't view it as a profitable or low-risk venture compared to other projects. The lack of having an NFL license, the relatively small market for non-licensed football games, the competitive landscape dominated by EA's Madden game, 2K's focus is on their existing franchises, which all plays a role in why 2K hasn't pursued such a project. If the NFL licensing situation were to change, or if the demand for customizable or alternative football games grew, like if Maximum Football blows up, then possibly 2K might reconsider the idea. But for now, it appears that 2K is not eager to explore that option. Now, when the XFL was kind of making its way back to bringing, the continuing football season after the NFL season was done, and to have The Rock starting to be an owner of it, and with, ties between wrestling, I thought this was a great opportunity for 2K to come out with a football game exclusively for XFL. This would have been a huge game changer, even though the XFL has players that are ex-NFL players that is coming into their league where their careers didn't pan out too well in the NFL. But it was a way for them to make it back into the NFL depending on how they played in the XFL. And I was really hoping that 2K was going to take this chance and opportunity to make a comeback with making a football game. But because it's not as big as what, having the license with the NFL can be, they just don't see that as the best option to make money. So basically, all comes down to if it's profitable and how they are able to get a fan base as big as the people that play Madden. Because without having the licensing, once again, that's the downfall and why 2K doesn't take that route to make just a non-licensed football game. That's why the community right now has to make a game changer for Maximum Football. Now, I know for sure Maximum Football is going to blow up over time, but if the fan base can get behind Maximum Football, blow it up, then of course, 2K is going to step in, probably take over Maximum Football, like have Maximum Football partner with 2K, and 2K can step in and help continue to develop their game, polish it up, and make it dominant. Imagine if 2K ended up doing that or just buys them out and taking over. The sky's the limit, people. But anyways, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments about this. And do you think 2K would ever take that approach if the non-licensing with Maximum Football blows up? Till next time, I'll see you guys later. And I'm out. Peace.